example, the school where we were in Shushafindi, they had a concrete courtyard out there, and it had basketball goal on each end and soccer goals on each end. The government inspectors came in and said that that was considered a stadium, just a concrete courtyard, and said that a third of it would need to be enclosed. That school does not have the money to enclose that little courtyard. Can you imagine? So they need help with things like that. So I would love for you to talk to me. Ryan wants to come back and speak to us in the future and share about their work, but I want you to be praying about going with me and taking part in it. It's a wonderful experience. You will bless others, but I guarantee you that you in turn will be blessed. Marcus, do we have the pictures? Yeah. I didn't take a whole lot of pictures. I was so busy. So I got Ryan to send me a few. They had some trouble, Ryan did, with uploading them. So they want me to send an SD card, and I can show some more pictures later on. This was in Shushafindi. This is some of the kids that they had the opportunity to teach. Some of them were pastors' children, or they were a part of the Christian school. If they have a uniform on, then they were a part of that Christian school. All right, you can go to the next one. Again, this is some of the older kids. We had a pleasant problem in Shushafindi. There were more kids than we were prepared for. The interns that were speaking, that were leading the children's work, they were expecting maybe 30 or 40 kids, and they were expecting smaller children. Well, the older children wanted to come and wanted to participate, so they had to kind of adapt, change the way that they did things. And so that's some of the older children. The lady that you see right there, that is one of our translators. She is an Ecuadorian believer. She's from a town named, oh goodness, what's it called? Quinca. And her name is Maria Clara. And she's gone to Christian college here in the United States, and now she's back in Ecuador. You go to the next picture. This is just a picture of Shushafindi and the place that we stayed. You can't see it that well, but that's the Amazon jungle in the distance. Some of the younger, well, he's doing what some of y'all do on Sunday. No, I'm just playing. This is a pastor named Manuel. This is during the lunch break. This is not during class. He had driven about 3 or 4 hours to get there by 8 o'clock in the morning, so he was tired. He's a Quechuan Indian. You can't tell, but he's got a braid. If you see that they have a braid in Ecuador, it means that they're not Spanish, they're Quechuan. So he's taking a siesta. I put him to sleep. Share the next picture. This is me teaching. You can't see me there, but what I'm having them do is read the scriptures to keep us from having to translate so much. And that's them listening. The guy in, okay. This is our team. This is, okay. The guy that's sitting in the back row with the white shirt on that's looking down, that's Pastor Jaime. He started this Christian school and the church that meets there. And then the guy in pink that's behind him kind of looking at the camera, that's his son, who's also a pastor and a teacher in the school. You can go to the next picture. This is the team that we had. This is the compound that ICP owns. On the right is Ryan, who's the president of ICP. The lady beside him is Samira Long. She is a student at a Christian college in Alabama. She's going into missions. The guy beside her is named Dylan Anderson. He's from Houston, Arkansas. I didn't know there was a Houston, Arkansas. But he's going to be moving to Ecuador. He's going to be moving to this facility during the summertime. And then that's Maria Clara at the bottom, one of our translators that I told you about. Then beside her is another translator. Her name is Tati. And this is her family that's beside me. That's her dad and her mom at the far end. And then that's her baby sister in the middle. They cooked for us while we were there in that compound. I told you that ICP is all about saving money. And so what they did was they hired an indigenous cook to cook native cuisine to save money. The pastors that we were teaching and their wives were also staying at the compound. So there was a lot of meal preparation. By hiring an indigenous cook and then cooking the native cuisine, it cost like $150 to feed. I think we had like 50 people to feed them 3 meals a day for 5 days. So did that to save money. And then the lady that's beside me, this is Trish McCallan. She's a member at Tumbling Shoals Baptist Church outside of Hot Springs, and she's a retired Spanish teacher. She said that when she was younger, she thought that God was calling her to the mission field, and she didn't answer the call. Now that she's retired, she's responded, and she goes on 4 or 5 trips with ICP to Ecuador a year. Is there another picture? Yeah, this is me freezing cold. I don't do cold anymore. I don't like the cold. We went, this is about 15 minutes from where we were in El Tambo. This is an Incan ruin. If you'll look in the background on the left, that is a temple to the sun. And our tour guide was telling us that they've uncovered about 4 dozen bodies. They did human sacrifice to the sun. There's a little plant that's on site. It's got trumpeter blooms, and they would make a poison out of that. And then the victims would drink it there at the temple. Isn't that neat, though, that it's very dark there? Very sad what happened, the paganism, the false religion. But now the gospel is there. What a difference the Lord can make. Are there any more pictures? I didn't think that there were. So again, thank you so much for sponsoring me to go on that trip. I appreciate your support. Oh, let me tell you something else. Not only did you sponsor me, but I told you that there was a need for study Bibles. Do you remember that? Y'all gave, and we were able to buy these Bibles. We purchased 40 Bibles. We didn't have enough because we didn't realize that there was going to be 56 pastors. We're planning for 40. These guys were so thrilled over a study Bible. We handed them out the first Monday that I was there. We started the class late because they were weeping, holding the Bibles, kissing them, and then they had to spend time looking at them to get used to them. They were absolutely overjoyed. And even when class was over, we shut down about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. When they were staying at the compound with us, you would see them all over the yard, the front and backyard, in the bunk beds, the bunk houses where they were staying. You'd see them with those Bibles reading constantly. I had many of them come up and tell me to be sure and tell your church, thank you for that. So thank you. Those Bibles made a tremendous difference. What we're going to do right now, I would like for us to have a time of decision and invitation, and I would like to invite you to come and pray for international church planners. Maybe you want to pray about whether or not you need to go on a trip with me. Or maybe you just want to pray for that ministry in general. As I told you, they have a goal of setting up 20 of these teaching centers all over the world. They have 2 so far. They have 18 to go. So as we have this time of decision, will you come? Will you pray for international church planners? As Brother Terry comes and Miss Debbie plays.